Growing up, Exit 9 was always the way we used to get into Kingston, but it turns out you've got a whole host of options, whether it's Route 3A North, 3A South, or Route 53. You could even take routes 80, 27, or 106. In fact, if this town were a fortress, it would need a National Guard unit to protect its borders. Settled in 1620 and eventually incorporated over 100 years later in 1726, this South Shore town with a population of over 13,000 borders on 5 other towns. Pembroke and Duxbury are to the north and northeast, Plimpton and Carver to the west and southwest, and Plymouth is just to the south. The town also has a coastline, which we'll check out in a little bit, but first, let's grab some breakfast. For the on-the-go sustenance, you can swing by the place named after the 2 streets that it lands on. Conveniently located across the street from Silver Lake Regional High School, Station 27 is the one-stop shop for that quick-fix breakfast.
Our hours are geared towards the high school and the middle school. Mornings usually look like kids stopping in for iced coffee, muffins, or a quick breakfast sandwich. We make fresh egg sandwiches on bagels, English muffins, bulky rolls, and we try to be, as one stop as possible, so you can come in and grab what you need and get going.
The current owners have been here for just over a year, serving up breakfast off the grill. And while their boom time for the first meal of the day is definitely while school is in session, ice cream sales from Joy's Dairy help them through these hot summer nights. But if you're going for that classic breakfast diner experience, you'll find it at the Blueberry Muffin in this shopping plaza. With their other store located in Plymouth, Chef Kevin Brown and the staff here have put the Kingston Blueberry Muffin at 164 Summer Street on the map for the past 3 years. Breakfast is served from 5:30 a.m. until 1 p.m., and on weekdays, lunch is served from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. On average, the kitchen turns out somewhere between 200 and 300 plates a day. And it's not just blueberry muffins, although they do look pretty tasty. With breakfast out of the way, we can finally get around to enjoying the outdoors. And with this incredibly hot summer we've been having, what better way to enjoy it than by hitting the beach? You can find Graze Beach just off of 3A. Just turn down Howlands Lane and bear right after you've crossed the railroad tracks. While the beach itself may not be enormous, this 6.5-acre property has stuff for everyone to stay active. Plenty of room in this field for frisbee and wiffle ball, a playground for the kids, a basketball court, a tennis court, even if you're just using it to play pickleball like these folks. And there's parking too, but you'll need a sticker, so if you don't have one, you can get one at Town Hall. But if lying around on the beach isn't your thing and you'd rather do something on the water, then take yourself slightly off the beaten path to the Jones River Landing on Landing Road. The landing is an ideal launch area and the river itself is fantastic for kayaking, canoeing, or boating.
I think it's one of the lost treasures of not only Massachusetts but New England, and that it's a great opportunity. We're 1.5 miles from the bay right here, with a nice little river. If you don't have any experience, it's a great spot to put in. We haven't figured out the rentals or anything like that yet, but we are a membership group, not very expensive, and we have kayaks and canoes to lend. And even if you're a sailor, we have a couple of sailboats that we want people to use. So we encourage membership, but we give people a free ride.
And while membership to the landing isn't strictly enforced to use the kayaks and canoes, the nominal annual fee seems worth it to have access to all of this beauty. But if you're trying to avoid all of the UV rays and still do something outdoors, follow Route 80 west to Elm Street, where you'll find Sampson Park and Fonts Memorial Forest. What started off as a 52-acre land grant from Walter Fonts in 1950 has since expanded to around 166 acres thanks to additional gifts and purchases. Maintained and operated by the town's Open Space Committee and Conservation Commission, you'll find a portion of the Bay Circuit Trail here, which runs for 0.7 of a mile. It's good for a short afternoon hike, but if you've never been here, it may feel a bit longer, so come prepared. One nice thing about being under the tree line is that for the most part it keeps you out of direct sunlight, but it doesn't keep you away from the heat, which is why it's imperative to always carry something to drink with you when you're out on the trails. And if there's a chance that you'll get lost, make sure you have a compass as well. Not to be lost in all of this is the scenery, which you can take in from these picnic tables. The park borders the Jones River and its reservoir. Across the street, you'll find the Elm Street Dam, which looks like it was ripped from the pages of history that we haven't lived in for hundreds of years. If you're a photographer looking to get into the postcard making business, here's a great place to start. But if all of this isn't enough, you can head back down Landing Road to Bay Farm. Now, a popular misconception is that this land is on the Duxbury side of town. Not true. Here's how you can tell the difference. If it's flat and green, it's the Duxbury side. If it looks like endless trees, it's the Kingston side. Bay Farm is considered the southern anchor of the Bay Circuit Trail and leads to the mouth of the Jones River at Kingston Bay. A majority of this land belongs to the town's Open Space Committee and Conservation Commission and is a great place to take your dog or just yourself for a walk to get away from it all. What's great about this spot right here is that if you're looking to get some exercise, from the start of the trail to this very point here, it's about a half mile. If you want to have a picnic, you can do it under the trees or right out here in the open. If you want to go for a swim, the ocean's right there. The view is spectacular, and the beauty is it's all free. Just make sure you clean up after yourself when you're done. All of this activity in the sun can make you not only tired, but tired and hungry, which can be a dangerous combination. Luckily, there's a cure for that as we head back to the center of town for dinner. On your way into town, you may have noticed the train tracks right in the center, and that's because the Commuter Rail has a depot right here in Kingston. In fact, it's pretty popular. Even though Plymouth is the end of the line for this commuter train, it doesn't always stop or start there, whereas aside from one time slot in the day, you can always catch it here or get off here in Kingston according to the schedule. That's something to think about for later. For now, let's head back to that restaurant that looks like an old train station, and that's no accident. Up until the 1960s, this was a train station, but over the decades, it's taken other forms. Since 2003, when John and Holly Cataldi bought this place, it's been the restaurant known as Solstice, serving up creative American cuisine. And if you're not familiar with that style, Executive Chef John Ricardo explains.
Cooking without borders, basically. We can do whatever we're interested in at the time. You know, some things that spark our interest as the seasons change. You know, we stick to a few things that we definitely know sell, that we know that we do well here, but it gives us the opportunity to always branch out and, you know, try new things and constantly making what we do better.
Here in the back of the house is where Ricardo and the crew put their skills on full display, creating some exquisite cuisine. There's plenty of activity at the front of the house as well, specifically the very inviting three-quarter wraparound bar. If you're a bartender, this is your time to shine. The early evening dinner crowd, every seat is filled and everyone is eating and having a beverage. But if you're looking for a little privacy, there's actually some outdoor seating right by the train tracks. A great way to end this busy day. Well, if that was the last train out of town, I just missed it. So I guess I'll just stay here, drink my wine, and enjoy myself tonight. Reporting for PCN Life, I'm Brian Sullivan.